Hey guys, welcome back. I am with my messy bun today. As you can see, I'm with my messy hair right now, but just don't mind. So yeah, by the way, I just finished my work and it's so tiring for me because I walk a lot, especially when I go to office and I come back to my home, like I need to walk overall I walk like around like 4 km, I guess, but it's a good walk, I guess. It's a brisk walk, so I count it as exercise. So yeah, thank you so much for clicking to this video. I really appreciate it. All right, today's topic is about, because I thought of this unique title, like I feel like we are basically not behind in life, okay? Because each of us like basically operate in like our own divine timeline. So like, have you ever like look at someone else life like and quietly wonder to yourself like, oh, you know what, why is everyone so ahead except me? Like just like comparing yourself, right? So like you see, like I know like my friends like getting married while like you're still healing from a breakup. Someone younger than you like starts their dream business and you didn't. Like you just keep postponing, because you're scared to start, right? Yeah, and your classmate seems to have like everything figured out because they get their life so good, like they post on Instagram and all, like yeah, the promotions, the house, someone bought some house, and the confidence that they have, like the life that you thought that you have by now, all of those, because meanwhile you're still trying to like basically understand like where you're supposed to go next, right? And before long, comparison begins whispering all those dangerous lies that we told ourselves, like for instance, like our inner monologue always speaks like, oh, you know what, oh, you're running out of time, like what, like you're too late, it's too late for you to start something new. You just get comfortable with your current job, just get comfortable with whatever life leads you on, and that's basically what your inner monologue always tell you, right? And it's kind of sad, like we basically like let those voices like overpower us, like you see, what if the greatest lie that you ever believe, like is that life has, do life has a universal schedule? That's the thing. What if you aren't behind at all? Because I'm pretty sure that in my previous video, I think I remember that I covered this topic, but I'm gonna talk about it again, because you see, because what if you're basically like simply like living according to a timeline that was never meant to look like anyone else, because you have your own timeline, okay? You have your own success, even though it is slow, some people bloom slow, and it's okay, So today I want to remind you of something, your anxious mind, that you are not late. All right, my love, you're not late, you're not failing. All right, you're simply operating on a divine timeline, okay? One uniquely designed for your own growth, your purpose, on this earth, and the person that you're supposed to become. So stop comparing yourself with other people, okay? I always keep reminding myself just to think that way, because it is so bad and sad if we always think that other people's life is better than us. No, don't do that, don't do that. Yes. So basically, you see, we always say that, oh, there's an invincible race, rat race, that happens within the society and all. So from the day that we are born, we are handed a checklist, like, okay, you need to graduate by this age, you know, like you need to get a stable career by this age, you know, okay, you need to find your soulmate, you need to get married, okay, you need to buy a house, you know, you need to have a children by this certain age, oh, you need to build a wealth, you know, like, oh, then you retire. Without realizing it, we basically like stop living our lives, you know, to the fullest, because and start measuring them, okay, because somewhere along the way success becomes less about fulfillment, you know, and more about keeping pace with yourself, you know. And you see, social media make it so worse, like even worse, you know, like every scroll, you know, like feels like another reminder that someone else is getting ahead of us, you know, like those people that same age as you are, you know, someone is like celebrating their engagement, someone just bought their dream car, someone quit their job to travel the world, okay, someone just built a 6-figure business or 6-figure income, okay, like before turning 30 and all, okay, you begin to wonder to yourself that, oh, you know what am I doing wrong, you know, and you start comparing life, oh, why am I not lucky like them, all right, so why am I born in this family, like you start comparing yourself, okay, but here's the truth, because like you are comparing your behind the scenes, right, and to someone else highlight real, you know, like some people, they might be fortunate enough that they are born with a silver spoon or gold spoon, you know, so you can't compare your life if you are born in a, you know, like a rock bottom of, I can't say that, right, so you are born in an average family, you know, just like me, okay, so, but you see, like life isn't a race, for real, life isn't a race, it's actually is a journey, you know, like it's journey with the different starting points, everyone has its different starting points, okay, different lessons, different destinations of life, and there has like never been a universal clock for becoming who you are supposed to be, right, who you are meant to be, so there is no timing, okay, yeah, then don't rush, because nature like never rush, okay, look at nature, because the sun never rushed to rise, right, the moon never apologized for arriving at night, am I right, okay. So a seed, you see, a buried underground isn't failing because it hasn't become a tree in a week, right? It spends months, you know, those seeds, you know, those plants, you know, like it's basically like it spends months unseen, you know, under the ground, under the soil, you know, quietly growing roots, you know. And here's what's fascinating, you know, the stronger the tree is meant to become, the deeper it roots must grow before anyone sees a single leaf, right? Okay, imagine if the seed like compare itself to the flower blooming nearby, so it'll think that, oh, you know, I'm behind, you know, but it isn't behind. Girl, boy, you're not behind, because you see, it is simply becoming something different. Okay, maybe someone else, okay, maybe they are I just give you a metaphor. Okay, maybe they are just a sunflower, you know, they just finished blooming, you know, so you can't compare to yourself that you're only a seed, you know, or maybe you are a bamboo, you know, you take so long, you know how bamboo is, like how it grows, like it took months underground, you know, it took months, and then once it sprout, it will skyrocket, you know, the growth is like boop, just like, yeah, do you get my man, like, I hope you understand. So yeah, so I'm sorry for my I know I am a bit crazy today because of my hair, so I'm so sorry, and it looks weird, but it's okay. Yeah, so yeah, maybe like your season right now, it looks so quiet because like your roots are growing, you know, because you are healing internally, you are building internally, even though it is invincible, it's okay, you know. Maybe life isn't delaying your message, your blessings and all, maybe it's actually preparing you to sustain them, all right. So yeah, believe it, have faith in yourself. Some dreams arrive quickly, others require you to become like someone capable of carrying them, because receiving. Okay, I'm back because I'm back. Right, sorry for the sudden cut off, like I'm so sorry, but it's okay. Yeah, so where did I stop? Oh yeah, because you see, it's like others, like sometimes others require you to become someone capable of carrying them, because receiving the opportunity before you are ready can be just as painful as never receiving it at all. So right now you are just building, right? So that your future self can sustain the success, okay? Right? So you see, think back like to something that you desperately wanted years ago. Maybe it was a relationship, or maybe a job, an opportunity maybe. And at the time, you were convinced that, if it's so perfect, and yet today you can clearly like see, why it didn't work out, right? Sometimes what feels like a rejection is actually protection for you, okay? Yeah. So sometimes what feels like a delay is a preparation. Yeah. Life has a strange way of making sense only in hindsight, The dots cannot connect backwards, like not forwards, That's why fate is so difficult. It asks us to trust a story before we even read, before we even read the ending, Because you may not understand why like certain situations, certain doors remain closed from you, Like you may not know, like why you have to wait longer, why you have to wait, but waiting isn't wasted, Waiting isn't wasted. Yeah. And waiting actually like shapes your character, Like it teaches you patience, humility, wisdom, resilience, the very qualities that success alone like can never teach you, Like maybe life you are praying for, that you manifested for, requires a version of you that, still being formed, You are under the progress, Do you get that? Yeah. So stop comparing your timelines. Ladies and gentlemen, please stop comparing, because comparison steals more than joy. Yeah, because it steals perspective, Yeah, because when you're focused on someone else's journey, you basically like stop noticing your own growth, You forget how much that you have overcome. Okay? So like you overlook all the quiet victories that you made, like the habits that you have changed, the courage that you have built, like the healing that you have fought so hard, dude. Like not every success can be measured by money. That's the thing, okay? Like, or titles or followers. Sometimes success looks like, like finally sleeping peacefully, Like, yeah, learning to say like, no to something that you don't intend to do, living a toxic environment, toxic people, forgiving yourself for not knowing, beginning again, after a failure and a failure. Like those pictures basically may never like trend online, like no one even see them, but they basically transform your life from inside out, okay? Like the truth is, because you don't actually want someone else's timeline, right? You only think you do because you haven't lived their struggles, okay? You only think like that because everyone carries battles that you cannot see, because the person that you are comparing yourself to may be praying for the peace that you have already found. We never know, right? So yeah, because trust the timing of your timeline. What if the timeline that you are resisting is actually the one that like saving you, true, you know, because what if every delay, you know, like every unexpected detour, every season where nothing seems to happen, you know, for you, you know, like was actually quietly, it's quietly like shaping the person that you're supposed to be, you know, like your purpose isn't only about reaching a destination, right? It's about who you become along the way. Yeah, I feel like I talked too fast for just now, so yeah, I should slow down a bit. Okay, yeah, so yeah, because, you know, imagine like arriving at your biggest dream, you know, without the emotional maturity to keep it, like without the wisdom to appreciate it, without the resilience to survive the challenge that come with it. Timing matters, you know, because not because life enjoys making us wait, right, but because growth cannot be rushed. You know, some flowers bloom in spring, you know, others bloom in autumn, you know, neither is late, okay, like they simply bloom when they are ready, okay, and so will you, okay. So yep, that's it for today, because I'm gonna wrap this up, because yeah, I need to eat dinner now. So you see, like, okay, I'm just gonna end this thing, because so if you're feeling like you're falling behind lately, I want you to pause for a moment, you know, pause for a moment, take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and remember this: your value has never been determined by your speed. Okay, you don't need to reach every milestone before a certain date, you know. Yeah, you don't need to have like your entire life figured out right now. You don't need to keep with everyone up, you know. You don't have to keep up with everyone. You know what, your only responsibility right now is to keep becoming the person that you're meant to be. Have faith in yourself, because life that truly meant for you will never require you to rush your own becoming. Do you get that? And so far, that's what I understand, because trust the quiet season, trust the slow growth, trust the unanswered prayer that you made, trust the closed doors, because one day you will look back and realize that nothing was delayed. Nothing was delayed. You're actually being protected. Okay, nothing was random. Every chapter happened exactly when it needed to. Okay, not because life was against you, but because it was preparing you for something greater, you know, something magnificent. Is that the correct word to use? Okay, that you could see, you know, something far more amazing, you know. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not running out of time. You are simply walking a path that was never meant to look like anyone else. Okay? Because you are special. You are unique. So you have your own divine timeline. Okay? And that is the greatest gift that life could ever give to you. So learn to appreciate it and don't rush. That's all. Sorry for if it takes too long to talk today. Like, it's just, yeah. I think I'm just gonna like have some takeaway food maybe, because today I don't think we have like ingredients in the fridge. So and I'm so tired to cook. I guess I will just take some takeaway food today for dinner. Yeah. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.